My girls, I could not go this month without giving you an episode about the little things that have changed my life, whimsy edition. Except we're not just going to be whimsy, we are going to dive into the whimsy wellness that has changed my life. And you're going to be surprised by some of these, and some of them you're going to be like, yeah, why have I not been also doing that? So let's get into it. And let me tell you all about the things that have changed my life. Whimsy Wellness Edition. Welcome back to the Self-Love Archives podcast. I am your host and your self-love bestie, Julia Salvia. I am so grateful that you are here, and welcome to mid-May. There are 5 podcast episodes going up this month. I'm so excited to be here with you every single week of the month of May. If you are new, or if you've been here and you didn't realize, we post a new podcast episode every single Sunday, 12 o'clock Eastern time. And we are focusing on shorter episodes now, 10 to 15. Most of them have actually been around 17 minutes. So I hope it takes you just around that time to get to the gym, to get to work, to get to wherever you are going. So you have the perfect amount of time to listen and hang out once a week with me, your self-love bestie. Today's episode is one that you guys absolutely love from me, and that is talking about the little things that have changed my life. I think there's something so incredible about either these little habits, these little tools, these little discoveries that will just change your life. They have upgraded your day-to-day habits. They have changed the way that you do things in such a way that you're like, why didn't I discover this months ago, years ago? Well, I'm here to give you all the tea. That's not really tea. It's probably more like a really, really good cup of coffee that you're like, why did it take so long for me to discover this coffee place and make my coffee this way? Well, I'm about to give it to you here in this episode. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to start off with the least whimsical from the list. The least whimsical one from the list, and it's because it is the one that worked in less than 24 hours. This is like not an ad at all, but if Canopy would like to sponsor me, by all means, let's manifest that together, that Canopy ends up having ads on the Self-Love Archives podcast, because when I tell you that I owe them my life, specifically my nose and my throat, I owe them that, okay? I had been waking up every single morning with a really dry throat. Like I was just like parched, like so incredibly thirsty. And I'm like, how could I be thirsty? I've been drinking so much water, like a gallon of water. Like there's no question that like I'm hydrated. So why am I waking up absolutely parched out of my mind? And my nose would be really, really dry. And every time I would blow my nose, it would be bloody. So that was like point blank exactly what it was. And we had a really rough winter here in Jersey. It was so cold. There was so much snow. We haven't experienced that in a really long time. So I think my body was just like, hey, girl, what is this? But I started to get more concerned with like, okay, if it's going to be dry, it's going to be dry. But like, how do I fix that? And hello, humidifier. I've actually never had a humidifier before. I was actually convinced that it was less of the humidifier and less of like the weather and the crazy change going on in the weather. And I actually was convinced that it was the fan that we have in our room that just blows on Nick and I because he gets really hot when he sleeps. So we most nights have this fan on. And I noticed that when the fan was on versus when the fan was off, it wouldn't be as dry, but it was still dry. Like my nose and my throat weren't as dry, but it was still dry. I mean, makes sense, right? So when I started to turn the fan off at night, he wanted to absolutely rip me apart. Understandably so. I hate being hot when I'm sleeping. But I felt a little bit better, but there was still something missing. So I'm like, okay, shut up. Get the humidifier. I got the humidifier, and Canopy has these really, really pretty ones. And end, because we love a good aesthetic. But the most important thing, you know how there are certain things that like just hold water? So like I have a Brita or a water filter. Water kind of sits there for a bit. So the first thing that went to my head when getting a humidifier was like, I do not want a humidifier that just like sits there and like creates spores of bacteria and mold and something that I just like have to clean every 2 days. It's annoying. Genuinely, it's just annoying. So when I looked into Canopy and I was kind of looking across the board for like all different humidifiers, I realized that Canopy actually has like a filter system so that that doesn't happen. At least it hasn't happened thus far. I actually almost put this in the last episode talking about the little things that have changed my life, but I put a pin in it because I'm like, I really want to try this, make sure that it's everything that I needed and wanted it to be before I officially shared it with you. Because I noticed a difference in my nose and my throat and the dryness that I was feeling in 24 hours. Like, not even 24 hours. I went to bed, I turned it on, I went to bed, did everything that I need to do, woke up the next morning, and I was perfectly fine. I'm sorry, what in the magician? What in the witchiness? Like, what in the woo-woo? So I guess this is the most whimsical woo-woo one, because how? I guess the air in my room, in my bedroom where I was sleeping was, in fact, very dry. And to prove it, I was very lazy one night, decided to not turn the humidifier on and fill it with water, so it was off. I woke up the next morning, dry throat, dry nose, horrible. So now I'm never sleeping without the humidifier. I take my woo-woo very seriously. I question everything, which I think you should do too. Question everything. But at the end of the day, I'm always asking, like, why not try it? If you've never tried it before, why not? Why not? Why not give it a shot? If it works, amazing. If it doesn't, throw it away. Don't let it go. Give it to somebody else. I don't know. But if it works, if you try it, something you've never tried before, and it works, like, how freaking cool is that? So I am always open to anything woo-woo whatsoever. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a try. Tarot, astrology, anything. So when I started to get into actually something a little more sciencey, which is cycle syncing and trying to understand my body better, I have actually a couple of episodes on the podcast that you could go back to that are talking about cycle syncing and learning more about your body. I downloaded, and I'm pretty sure this app ended up in one of our other episodes of the little things that have changed my life, but she's still changing my life. I forgot about her for a hot minute because I just got lazy with tracking my cycle, and I felt like I really didn't need to anymore because I just knew what was going on. But I got back to it because I really wanted to kind of pinpoint some dates and times. I downloaded the Stardust app. It is a hormone tracker, cycle syncing tracker, period tracker app that is the most whimsical thing you will ever put in your hands. Like, if you don't like whimsy and cutesy little things, like, and you just want a straightforward app that's just basic, you're not gonna like this. This is for my girls who are witchy and woo-woo and just love cutesy things. Like, there's all of these little icons on there so you can pick, okay, I feel like shit today. Clicking this icon, I had back pain from my period. That's really for real. I'm gonna pick this icon, and you can actually track all of your symptoms, and it will give you the expected symptoms as keep putting all of your information into it, start to learn a little bit more about you, and it'll give you when you're in your luteal phase, follicular, ovulation, your period, all of that, but it does it in such a witchy woo-woo way. So give it a shot, give it a try if you like a little woo-woo. I believe I am a pink moon witch or a red moon witch. I get my period on the full moon. I think we can add each other on the Stardust app. I don't know how. I'm going to have to look into that. Maybe I'll put it in the description so we can see like what kind of witches we all are. I think that would be so cute. But I'm pretty sure you could just look up my name, which is Julia Salvia. Just in case you didn't know what my name was. But it just like gives you a really intuitive, witchy intuitive lens into your body and is a really cool way to learn more about yourself and about your cycle in just a really whimsical way. And actually, I want to say before we move on to the next one, I want to say that the Stardust app is literally a girl's secret weapon, a woo-woo girl's secret weapon to understanding energy shifts in your body. Chef's kiss. On that same subject of apps and woo-woo apps at that, everyone always comes to me. I am an astrology girly, as we know, and everyone always comes to me. I ask them, like, what's your chart? What's this? What's that? And they go and they open up the CoStar app. Ugh, delete it. Remove it from your phone, please. Go download the Chani app, Chani. It is so much more whimsical and straightforward and accurate to what you should actually be understanding about your astrology. And it's such a wonderful, wonderful way to learn more about astrology, but also a much easier way to learn about astrology. And I think it has changed my life in so many ways, more ways than one, because there's so many things to learn about your astrology on there. So there's the day-to-day information about what's going on. There's the horoscope that's based on your rising sign, because that's actually what you should be looking at when you look at horoscopes, not your sun sign, but that's a conversation for another day. It gives you all of the transits and different things happening according to the community and kind of the world as a whole, but it also provides you with your own. When I tell you that I do not pay for apps unless they are wholly and completely and 100% worth it, I do not pay for apps unless they are 1000% worth it. And this is one of the only apps, I think I can only name like two or three that I actually pay for that I have really gotten so much out of it. I meditate almost every single morning with the meditations that are on this app. I utilize the journal prompts that are given. You also get a really special actual like podcast episode according to your rising sign every single week. There's also the collective podcast that you get every single week. And it's really a wonderful way, whether you are beginner, intermediate, or advanced, to learn a lot more about astrology. And it's done in a way that there's no fear mongering involved. It's more of just like the legitimate astrology of what is going on. So if you love astrology, then I think this is the app that you should download and to help you just learn more about it, to learn more about yourself and to learn more about astrology as a whole. Okay, next one. Look, buy yourself flowers. There's like nothing whimsy about it, but then there's also so much whimsy about it. Like, just buy yourself the flowers. I know we say this all the time, but I think that we need to say it more. I think that you need to drop everything you're doing and go buy yourself flowers. Wherever you are listening to this right now, please go buy yourself flowers. You keep seeing every time you are on your way to work, on your walk, you always see that little market that has a bunch of flowers in front of it. Go buy them. Or you're passing Trader Joe's. Listen, Trader Joe's has the best flowers, especially if you're in an area where there aren't those really cute garden centers or markets. Like, go into Trader Joe's, buy yourself a bouquet of flowers, put them in little jars around your house. Perfection. Like, that is how to add the quickest little whimsy of your life into your life. And honestly, you have no excuse, because a Trader Joe's bouquet of flowers is cheaper than a cup of coffee nowadays, because you can get a bouquet of tulips for like $7.99. And I will have you know that I just got a coffee the other day, $9. $9. I don't know where you live in the world, but I live in New Jersey and coffee's $9, especially if they want me to tip them $1 every single time, which, listen, I get so anxious because they're looking right at me. Do you want to leave a tip? Yes, I will leave $1. Put it towards your college fund. I'm doing a good deed. I hope that dollar goes to a good place. But buy yourself the flowers. There's nothing and everything whimsy about it. You deserve it. And that's it. You deserve it. And buy the really whimsy ones, like ranunculus or calla lilies are really pretty. Anything that looks funky and weird and fun, go buy those. Those are the ones you want. Jumping back to a little bit more woo-woo. This one is a little bit hard to find, and it was actually kind of thrown into my lap in a way. Psychic classes, intuitive classes, as I call them. I have actually been taking intuitive classes for not consistently, like there's been some breaks, and actually most especially there's been a very large break between the one that I just took and the one before that, but I've been taking them maybe over the course of the past 2 years, maybe a little bit longer. And when one of the psychics I used invited me to this class, I was like, yeah, I think that would be really cool. I would love to see, like, I'm going into this thinking that, like, yeah, I'm intuitive. I think that we're all a little intuitive, but I can't read psychically for people. Guess again, I can. And I have actually read psychically for a couple of people recently and have been wanting to just tap into that a little bit more. But the reason why taking psychic classes or taking intuitive classes has ended up in this list is because it has changed my life. Because when I went into it initially, I went into it with the whole idea of wanting to trust myself more. And I think we all have a really hard time trusting our intuition and our intuitive ability. We all have intuition, we all have intuitive ability. You can probably read psychically for other people. It's just, are you tapped into your gut feelings? Are you tapped into yourself? And when I tapped into this, something changed in me where I just became a much more zen person. Don't get me wrong, I'm still very like outgoing and friendly, could talk to a rock if I wanted to, but the world got really loud, and that was maybe like a positive and a negative effect of taking these intuitive classes. But I think the part that really changed my life was the ability to actually connect with myself more and to connect with myself deeper. And there is something that is so incredible about being able to do that and being able to sit with yourself and understand yourself and feel things in all the ways that you want to feel things and know things about your life. Listen, we are human at the end of the day, so we are not perfect, and nothing in this life is perfect. But in order to, the ability to connect with yourself is something unmatched and is such an incredible energy shift, not just for you as like this living, breathing creature in this world, but as a living, breathing creature in this world that is able to connect with so much different energy beyond yourself, things that are just inexplainable. So I just finished actually level 4 of these intuitive classes, and level 4 was about manifestation. And there was something really interesting that we talked about in regards to manifestation that unlocked something for me. And that was how we started the manifestation class. We think that manifesting is all about just like thinking and speaking the thing that we want over and over and over again. But if that's the case, then why have we not manifested it yet? Why haven't you manifested the $1 million that you want, or the home that you want, the car that you want, the dog that you want? Like, why haven't you manifested the life that you want? It's because manifestation is a lot more than just thinking, speaking, and feeling all of the things that you want. It's about sitting with what you are resisting. And this was so, oh my God, I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my God. Yeah. There's a point in astrology called Chiron, and Chiron is considered like the wounded healer. And those contradict each other, wounded and healer. It's because Chiron is where you find your pain and your healing. So if you did download the Chani app, go find out where Chiron is for you. Go find out what house it sits in for you. There should be a little information on like what that means. And that is exactly where you find pain and it's also where you'll find healing. And it's such an incredible point in your chart in astrology. And I think a lot of people tend to ignore it because it isn't one of the main planets or positions in astrology. But I think it is the most incredible point that helps you unlock so much. So when we were talking about this sort of contradiction between manifesting and resisting, and how you need to know what you are resisting in order to manifest, I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's like you're driving the car, right? And this is a huge car. This is a bus. This is a train. You are driving the car, and fear, what you're resisting, your pain, but also your happiness. Everything that you are feeling, that you are going through, everything is sitting in that car with you. But the thing that we always have to remember is that you are driving the car. You are steering the car. You get to choose whether you go left or right. It doesn't matter what fear in the passenger seat is saying to you. But it also doesn't matter what resistance in the back seat is saying to you. It doesn't matter what your pain is saying to you. What matters is that you are deciding whether to accelerate, go left or go right, go backwards. You are the one that is in control of the car. But it's important to also understand that all of these things are there because they're trying to protect you. That resistance is trying to protect you. Fear is trying to protect you. Your pain is trying to protect you. All of these things are there to protect you. So you give them a nice pat on the head. You say, thank you for your protection. And you keep on accelerating forward. And that's that. And I think that was something so amazing to kind of connect the dots with in this last manifestation class, or intuitive class, that I wanted to share with you. So taking these psychic classes has definitely changed my life in that way. And I think beyond that, whether you have access to an intuitive class or not, I think what could be really incredible is actually taking a course or a class that you align with. It could be something so small. It could be something that you've been wanting to try. It could be just like a cooking class, and that's it. It could be a much longer class, like you're almost like going back to school. Is it something that is going to help you grow and help you become the person that you want to be? Is it going to help you manifest? Is this class going to be something that is going to help you sit with your resistance in order to manifest the life that you want? One of our last things of the little things that changed my life, Whimsy Wellness Edition. Try an aesthetic you have never tried. Let me explain. I just so happen, I went to North Carolina a couple of weeks ago. As you're listening to this, I am actually, as you're listening to this, in Nashville, and I am hoping to take a solo trip to Montana this year. What do all of these things have in common? Well, friends, they all feel a little bit southern, country, a different aesthetic than I am used to. In high school, let me tell you a little story. In high school, without getting into the nitty gritty, but I basically, 14 to 16 were two like really, really tough years. Like that was just a really tough time in my teenage years. And I lost a lot of myself. I didn't even find myself, essentially. I allowed someone who was in my life dictate what music I like to listen to, what clothes I like to wear, how I like to do my makeup, how I like to do my hair. So when I came out of this relationship with this person, I felt like I was so behind in life in discovering who I was as a teen. And I need to find these pictures. I need to like unlock an old laptop or something. But when I found these pictures and think back to my sophomore, junior, senior year of high school, I didn't have like a set style or like clothes that I would wear or music that I liked. Like I just liked everything because I was testing the waters. I was like trying it out. Like if you saw the pictures of me, there's one day where I'm dressed like very preppy. The next I'm dressed a little more country. The next I'm dressed like things that I probably shouldn't have wore to school, like, and then the next I'm in like sweatpants. Like, I was just trying to figure out and find who I was. But I love this about my teenage years because I still do it now. Like, I am so set in who I am and what I love and what I like and how I like to dress myself and what music I like to listen to. But I'm always so open to the possibility that I might like something else. That I could change my mind and tell you, I like this. And the thing is that you can too. One thing I hate so much is when someone says, oh no, I don't like that food. Have you tried it? No, I've never tried it. How can you say you don't like it if you've never tried it? I just don't like it. How can you say you don't like something if you have never tried it? And the thing is, what if you love it? What if you absolutely love it so much that it changes your life? So try a different aesthetic. Try a different kind of music. Try to wear a different sort of outfit or different fit. Try traveling to somewhere you never thought to travel to. Try connecting with someone that you never thought to connect to. I think if there's anything that I love about myself, I love that I am so open to change, that I am so open to experimenting, that I am so open to things that I probably don't even like. But I'm open to it. Like, I'm willing to give it a try. I don't know about you, but I am probably wearing cowboy boots right now. Will I ever wear the cowboy boots again? I don't know. I don't know, girl. But I bought some really cute clothes for Nashville. I'll probably wear some of those damn cute clothes in Montana. And who knows, maybe I'll fall in love with some of these outfits and some of these places and go back or try it on again. You don't need to keep these things. You don't need to constantly travel to these places. You don't need to always eat that food. And you do not have to like them, and you do not have to completely change your identity. All you have to do is just try. And there's something so cutesy and like whimsical and fun about that. It is literally whimsy in its purest form. To completely shock your system out of the mundane, out of the autopilot that you have been on, and give yourself a little bit of dopamine. Last but not least, I've been adding a little bit of whimsy in my life for my whole entire life without even realizing it. Every time I make a cute little drinky drink, I make it whimsical. I make her cute. I make her worth drinking, worth looking at, worth taking a picture of. Whether it is my water, it is my matcha, it is my coffee, it is my tequila, it is my margarita, anything and everything. Get some whimsy. A little dried orange slice on my margarita, a little sprinkle of some sprinkles, and a flavored cold foam. When I'm done with this episode, I'm literally going to go make myself homemade blackberry cold foam on a matcha or a coffee. I still can't decide which one I want, but I'm going to make her cute. Making something small an experience is also something on maybe a smaller scale that you can do that can get you out of autopilot. That can just shock your system, give you a little hit of dopamine, the good kind, not the scrolling kind, and add a little whimsy to your life. So add sprinkles to your coffee. Start doing things that are tiny that are going to change your life. Get yourself out of autopilot. Get yourself out of the mundane of the everyday life and make shit fun. Just because it's fun. I hope you enjoyed this list of the little things that have changed my life, Whimsy Wellness Edition. I am so excited to continue to do all of these things for my whimsical wellness. And I am so excited to hear which ones of these on this list you are going to give a try this month, next month, and from here on out. I love you a ton. Have the best week ever. And I'll see you when I get back from Nashville for our episode next Sunday. Same time, same place, 12 o'clock Eastern time. I love you. Bye.